Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Austin.
Hi, I'm Sergey.
Hi, I'm Joe.
According to the ADA, one must have a disability or have a relationship or association with an individual who has a disability. This includes physical and mental disabilities.
Some of the acts that address the rights of people with disabilities include the Fair Housing Act, Individuals with Disability Education Act, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, and the Rehabilitation.
The Fair Housing Act prohibits housing discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, disability, family status, and national origin.
Good job.
Have you ever had the experience of being the only person in a classroom who had trouble doing something or understanding a certain concept? How would you feel if every day in school you faced the same kind of difficulty, while everyone else seemed to find the work easier than you? What kind of support and teaching would you need to keep trying? The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, is a law that was passed to help and support students who face this situation every day. The current version of the law was passed in 2004, but it's based on a law that was first created in 1975, known as the Education for All Handicapped Children Act. It revolutionized the education of children with disabilities, which, in 2001, was more than 6 million children. The IDEA requires that public schools provide specialized services to all children with disabilities from birth to age 21, for the purpose of granting equal access to education. A specific part of the law mandates public schools to create an Individualized Education Program, or IEP, for each student who is found to have an eligible disability. An IEP is a document that is drawn up and agreed upon by teachers, parents, specialists, and, if possible, the student. The document describes the present achievement level of the student, then specifies goals for the school year, as well as any special support needed to achieve those goals. In other lessons, we'll discuss learning disabilities in more depth and how to use an IEP in the classroom. The focus of this lesson is the law itself. Let's visit Cornerstone Elementary to see an example of the IDEA in action. Meet Susie. Susie is a bright, energetic third grader who loves school. Susie has a hearing impairment. She's not deaf, but her hearing is poor enough that it affects her educational performance, as she has trouble hearing any of her teachers. Susie would qualify for special assistance under the IDEA. Her IEP would include information about her hearing impairment, such as the most recent hearing test results, and would also outline multiple goals and services agreed upon by her parents and teachers. Although Susie might meet with a specialist once or twice a week, most of her time would still be spent in the classroom with all of her fellow students. This is because another aspect of the IDEA is the requirement that a student with a disability be educated in the least restrictive environment possible, or LRE. In other words, a student like Susie who has a disability should have the opportunity to be educated with her non-disabled peers to the greatest extent possible. Susie should have the opportunity to interact with her peers and have the same access to educational experiences as everyone else. Susie may just need additional resources, such as visual aids, to optimize her learning. Individualized education programs and least restrictive environment are the two most well-known principles of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. However, there are four.
What happens if you have a disability and you're enrolled in a public school system? What rights do you have?
With different administrations in office, government policy can vary in relation to disabilities, as seen through differences between the Obama administration and the Trump administration. For example, former President Barack Obama wanted to increase educational opportunities, employment opportunities, and strengthen health care for the disabled.
The U.S. Department of Justice states the Rehabilitation Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability in programs conducted by federal agencies.
Hello, everybody. Nearly 1 in 5 Americans lives with a disability, and odds are the rest of us love somebody with one. The issues Americans with disabilities face affect all our lives. Along with your parents, siblings, and friends, you're part of the tradition of diversity that makes us who we are as a country. With courage and dignity, you've worked to shape a more accessible, inclusive America. One that says everybody can instead of everybody can't. Together, we're making sure more Americans have access to quality, affordable health care and life-saving Medicaid coverage. We're investing in educational opportunities through the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which helps young adults with disabilities get the education and training they need to succeed. And we're working to increase employment opportunities for people with disabilities and improve access to housing, community support, and independent living arrangements. That change hasn't come easily, and we're nowhere near finished. But this November, we need to decide which path to take. Do we throw up our hands and tell folks, you're on your own? Or do we move forward and meet the challenges that lie ahead together? The other side says the way to grow a strong economy is from the top down. That instead of investing in education and health care for all Americans, we should repeal the Affordable Care Act, slash Medicaid, and raise taxes on middle-class families who are struggling to make ends meet, all to give the wealthiest Americans a tax cut they don't need and didn't ask for. I'm not willing to let that happen. And as long as I have the privilege of being your president, I promise I'll keep listening and keep fighting to protect the progress we've made. So I'm asking you to go to barackobama.com/disabilities today and join People with Disabilities for Obama, and don't stop there. Talk to your families, friends, and neighbors, and ask them to get involved too, because we can only move forward together.
Okay, President Trump has yet to do much for the disabled. So far, he declared October as National Disabilities Awareness Month.